Hey, 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 what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another SummerSlam Rewind video where I go back and watch each and every SummerSlam in WWE history. And today we are talking about SummerSlam 2009. And I'm stoked, man. I'm very, very stoked because this is finally the period where we're getting a bunch of SummerSlams in Los Angeles. And when I think about some of my most fondest moments as a pro wrestling fan, I think about all the times that I used to go to the SummerSlam Access events that they used to put on in LA. I used to go with my uncle. And so I have the best freaking memories of these next couple of years. So I'm so excited to be showing you guys like pictures and memorabilia. You'll be seeing more pictures in following videos because 2009 was still the digital camera phase, and unfortunately that was the one where, of all places, that was the one where I had that glitch and my freaking pictures erased and whatever. I don't even want to talk about it. I'm still depressed about that. But I remember that weekend I went to SummerSlam Access and I got to meet a lot of wrestlers that day. And as a matter of fact, I still have my SummerSlam Access tickets that I used for the access. So I went to both session 1 and session 2, and basically on Chick Hearn Street, which is the street it's right between Staples Center and LA Live. That whole street and LA Live was completely blocked off. So they had little booths and stuff where you would go, you'd do activities, you'd meet wrestlers. It was so freaking hot, but it was so much freaking fun. They also had a ring in the middle and you could watch matches. So it really was a freaking awesome thing. I hope that the next time that SummerSlam is in Los Angeles again, that they do something like that, because honestly, it's memories like this that really make you into a fan. And look at these prices. Holy shit. I only paid my uncle paid. I didn't pay. $15 per session. So it was $30 literally to meet all of the people that I ended up meeting. I met Dolph Ziggler. He was the first person that I ever took a selfie with. I met Dolph Ziggler. I actually met Mark Henry and the Big Show at that event. I met Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is another person that I met at that show. And those are really the ones that I remember. If I remember some more, I will bring it up, but those are really the ones that I remember meeting at the show. So there you go. That was SummerSlam Access throwback, guys. I used to save all my tickets back in the day, so that's why I still have a lot of them. So I went down the memory wagon. Also, I'm so upset because I did have the program for this, but when I moved, I tried to throw a bunch of stuff away, and like an idiot, I'm pretty sure that was something that I threw away, which is like, why would you do that, Denise? Why would you do that? But hey, who the hell knows? But all I know is that I couldn't find it anywhere, and I know I had it, but whatever. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about this show and talk about just like everything in general. So I was at the show. Here is my ticket stub for SummerSlam 2009. During this time, I was already working, but I was still in high school. And so, man, guys, they also during the show showed the SummerSlam Access events. And dude, I swear to God, when I was watching them like show them the highlights of the event, all of these memories just like came back flooding to me. And so it was so nice just to have that like blast from the past, really. Like I could literally recall the lines that I stood in. I can recall all these like little details and stuff. And that really made me happy. Honestly, it really, really did. As for this show, I was sitting in section 205, row 5, seat 1 at the Staples Center. And get this, guys, it was only $60 plus tax, of course, but $60 only to attend SummerSlam. We're also going to be seeing how much more how much more expensive shit is. Okay, so as for the show itself, one of the cool things about this SummerSlam was because it was in Los Angeles, all of a sudden this was the first SummerSlam. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't remember this happening in any other SummerSlam, but this was the first SummerSlam where we were seeing all of these celebrities in the crowd because you're in Hollywood. And so you were getting all of these celebrities in the house, some of which included, let's talk about some of these celebrities who we saw there. I'm going to start with the biggest one, guys. The biggest one. we had Luke Perry and Jungle Boy, Jack Perry, in the audience, and that was just like nuts to think because first of all, Jungle Boy, he was so cute, like literally cute little kid, but with his big curly little blonde hair, and he was there with his dad. It was very very sweet. But the crazy thing is, like you look at him and he's a little kid, right? CM Punk was on that card. He was the main event. And so just seeing the age difference between them and thus knowing the drama that unfolded between Jungle Boy and CM Punk, it's kind of hilarious when you think about the age difference here. And who would have thought? You think CM Punk would have thought at that time that he would have ended up beefing with some little kid that was in the crowd? And did you think that Jungle Boy Jack Perry would have thought that one day he'd end up beefing with the man at the main event? Like mind blown when you think about this stuff, guys. It's nuts. Anyway, some of the other celebrities that they had was Freddie Prinze Jr., Maria Menounos, Nancy O'Dell of Access Hollywood, Slash of Guns N' Roses, and Robert Patrick of Terminator, and some other ones that I don't remember. But the big one I wanted to talk about was Luke Perry and Jungle Boy Jack Perry. However you guys want to call him. I keep calling him Jungle Boy because he's Jungle Boy to me. All right, so another thing that they showed here that I wanted to share with you guys. So they showed the Vince McMahon Walk of Fame star, and I've been to it. I've seen it like several years ago. And fun fact, did you know that the Vince McMahon star is right next to Kermit the Frog? Yeah, they're neighbors on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Fun fact. So before we get into the highlights, really quickly, I must emphasize though that even though I have some great, amazing, fond memories and all of that, this really was just a one match show. And I'm pretty sure you guys know which one it is, but let's kind of recap a little bit some of the highlights on what actually went down and why this was really a one match show. The first highlight that I want to talk about is Rey Mysterio defeating Dolph Ziggler in the opening match for the Intercontinental Championship. This match wasn't bad. It was a nice, fun, fast-paced opener, which is exactly what it needed to be. So this was honestly better. This was definitely better than the last two Rey Mysterio Chavo Guerrero matches that we saw at SummerSlam. But the big thing that I want to shout out, though, is Rey Mysterio in that purple and yellow Lakers gear. I just thought he looked so freaking awesome. So I wanted to make sure to shout that out. And the next match that I want to talk about is Cryme Tyme versus Jerishow, Chris Jericho, and the Big Show for the unified WWE Tag Team titles. All right, so really quickly, I wasn't a fan of Jerishow, and I think the reason was that, as you guys know, I was a big Chris Jericho fan. He was my favorite wrestler. And I just didn't really like him in a tag team. I just wanted to see him do his own thing. And so I think that's why I didn't like Jerishow. As for the match itself, there really wasn't anything remotely interesting that happened in this. And so I'm going to skip and continue on to our next highlight, which is going to be Kane versus the Great Khali. And I'm laughing because, of course, guys, I was excited for this match. And when I tell you right now, I want to start off by saying that the Punjabi Playboy Great Khali song is one of the most underrated wrestling theme songs out there, okay? I loved that freaking Great Khali theme song. And you guys know, I was a fan of Great Khali. I was a fan of Kane. And so this freak show type of circus freak match is exactly what I'm into. And that's what we got here. This wasn't great by any means, guys. All right. I'm not going to sit here and lie to anybody. But the big thing that I wanted to mention, and I almost forgot, was when I was at the show, this was my first time seeing the Great Khali. And when he came out, dude, holy cow, I was in awe of his size. If you never saw the Great Khali in person, dude, I don't even know how to explain it. It's funny because like every wrestler that would come out, obviously I would struggle a little bit. I'm a short person. I would struggle a little bit to see who was coming out. I mean, you knew because of the freaking theme songs, but like you couldn't really see them. Like you would see them and then you wouldn't and then you would, right? And with the Great Khali, dude, I didn't even have to try. Homeboy was sticking out freaking like I don't know, he was just sticking out because, and if you want to stick out and breathe a Great Khali, Blue Chew promo code Denise. All right, okay, so I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. All right, the Great Khali and Kane. Of course, this wasn't necessarily like a great match or anything. Ranjan Singh gets involved, and when he does so, it kind of causes the Great Khali to get distracted a little bit, and so then that distraction essentially leads to Kane doing like a drop kick on the Great Khali, and so thus he ends up bringing him down, and that's how Kane gets the win here. So again, not necessarily anything too spectacular, but hell, you know what? I had a good time with this. I had a good time. Now, unfortunately, with this next match, I did not have a good time, and that was DX versus Legacy, Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase. Okay, I mentioned earlier I met Cody Rhodes at this SummerSlam Access, but in terms of this here, DX had a really cool entrance. That was kind of fun. But the big thing was that Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase as a team together, they really weren't anything like too great. They were very, very bland, very vanilla at this time. And so it's so crazy to think about what they ended up becoming, because what they ended up becoming, um, well, at least for Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes, now, God, we're talking about him in the main event. He's the champion now. And when you think about how long it took him for him to get to this, like, it's incredible. And you got to admire the resilience and the patience and the fighting that it takes for someone to go from this spot on the show where you don't really have too much of a character, like you don't really have like you don't really scream main eventer at the time, and to now go and he's now headlined 2 WrestleManias, and to have those big moments, be one of the top merch sellers, one of the top baby faces in the company. It's insane. It's insane to think about. So when you're watching this match, like, it made me, honestly, watching this match, because again, the match itself wasn't good. It was a 20-minute match that did not need to be 20 minutes. This was a Raw match as well. And so I just it made me think, like, when you're watching people in developmental, for example, in NXT right now, have patience, because you never know. In 15 years, those people that you think like might not be big stars, all of a sudden might indeed be gigantic stars. And this match here was definitely proof of that. And this was also Shawn Michaels' last SummerSlam match. As you guys know, he would go on to retire at WrestleMania 26. So, also, they got the win. DX got the win. Shocking, right? Of course. You guys all knew that. I didn't even need to tell you guys that. All right, next highlight. Let's jump into Randy Orton versus John Cena once again for the WWE Championship. All right, so this one here, of course, I kind of already talked about them last year, because last year I thought they had a pretty good match. So we're here talking about them again, and I thought this match was not really as good as their first one. I thought their first one was a lot better, and the reason for that was because in this matchup, you saw them like restart the match a whole bunch. Like, Randy gets counted out, he then cheats to get the win, and so each and every single time the match is restarted once again, and then eventually once Randy wins, it isn't even like a big explosive win. Then they also had a moment where Brett DiBiase runs in and they make it seem like a fan attack. It was super lame and just paused the whole entire match. I thought this match was kind of crap. So, and I just was not interested in this at all. I didn't like the match. I didn't like the story of the match, and I did not like the finish whatsoever. I just didn't feel like this compared at all to what we had seen with Randy and Cena previously. So I did not dig this. But yeah, as we know, Randy Orton and John Cena definitely feuded for a long time. But now let's go ahead and get into the match that I feel is really the only thing kind of really going back and rewatching here. And it is that TLC match between Jeff Hardy and CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship. This was so much freaking fun. So before this match, we had CM Punk cut a promo about how kids were idolizing celebrities, and he was burying LA and burying Hollywood and not supporting it, of course. And he wants to rewrite Jeff's story because, the addiction and all of that played into the story itself. But it was funny though, because he was talking about like kids idolizing celebrities. Meanwhile, I was idolizing CM Punk. But anyways, the match itself though, this was really, really fun. We see Jeff Hardy get put through a table. We see Jeff Hardy have like this crazy ass bump too, where he does a swanton bomb off the top of the ladder to CM Punk on the commentary table. And one of the things that I do appreciate from this time is because we had the digital cameras, you would see everybody with like the flashing lights in the audience, and it was really nice to see. Nowadays, you only see a couple if people have their flash on, which I don't even think flash photography is allowed anymore. I don't even remember. I take all my photos now without flash. So it doesn't look the same as like it did back in the day, where you know when a big moment was coming when you saw all of the flashing lights and whatnot. So that was an absolutely incredible spot. And just when you thought that Jeff Hardy was down and out, he still came back. There was still more to this match. Like they even tried putting him in a stretcher, but he didn't want to freaking go. So this was really freaking fun. But eventually, CM Punk does get the win and he wins the World Heavyweight Championship. I was very excited to be there to see my favorite wrestler. Yes, I know CM Punk's also my favorite wrestler. To see him win the title, I thought was a big deal. But then, unfortunately, he gets taken out by The Undertaker. So I was like, damn, bro, why you guys had to take him out by The Undertaker? I wasn't happy about it then. And rewatching it, I just kind of felt like they almost felt like they didn't want to have CM Punk close out the show. It had to have the show closed out with The Undertaker. That's what that felt like. Alrighty, now let's go ahead and get into some ratings. Here we go. Best match is definitely CM Punk versus Jeff Hardy in that TLC match. That was definitely the best one. Worst match, I have to give it to Christian versus William Regal because it ended super fast. It was just a kill switch, and that was literally it. MVP of the night, I have to give it to Jeff Hardy for that crazy ass swanton bomb that we spoke about. That was nuts. So for the rating, because I was at the show, because I did have fond memories, I did give it a little extra love, even though it's really just a one match show. But I decided to give it an 8 out of 13. So consider me being generous on this one. Alrighty, everyone. But there you go. That was SummerSlam 2009 in Hollywood. And I can't wait to talk about the next ones because those are also going to be shows that I got to attend. So I have more fond memories and more pictures and things to share once I get to those. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. And please do not forget to subscribe to the channel if you guys have been enjoying this content. Plenty more to come. And if you want to check out some other SummerSlams that I really enjoyed, watch SummerSlam 2000 review, SummerSlam 2002, and 2005 because I did enjoy those a whole lot. But you can go as far back as 1988 and watch where this all began. And wish me luck because I still got plenty more to go. All right, guys, bye.